We've prepped our tree, we've cleared around it, we've put our escape lanes in, so they're good to go. We've checked it for rot and decay, there's none of that. We've checked for birds' nests, we've checked it also as well for any broken or hanging branches that might fall on us, or anything, any deadfall that's in there, there's none of that. Okay, and now we're ready, okay, to think about felling our tree in that direction there, because it is slightly leaning that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put my directional cut in, gob cut. You might have seen those if you've never done them before. Okay, and that's the direction I want it to go in. And on top of your saw, there's a little line, and that's your aiming line. So wherever you aim that line there, is the way that you want the tree to go. Yeah, so I'll put my shoulder to the tree like this, that position there. There's a broken sort of branch, I'm going to aim for that, like that position there. Now it's up to you which cut you do first. Maybe do your angle cut first or your bottom cut, but they have to be a certain dimension. Yeah, that has to be sort of like between 45 60 degrees, something like that. Okay, you don't want it mega wide open, we don't want it closed, sort of halfway. And the bottom cut also needs to be flat to the floor and about 20% the diameter of the tree. That's it. And that's the sort of dimensions you're aiming for. You don't want to take out half, okay, but you don't want to just skim a tiny bit either. But you'll practice. That's what we're here to do, and we're training. Yeah, so we just practice it. Yeah, just get it right. I like to put my angle cut in first, and then I just whip the bottom off. Okay, so I'm in that position now, like that, and I have a slight angle there. So when you hold your saw, when you go along the handle like that, see the angle changes slightly, and you can work out roughly what you want it to be. Yeah, I like to put my shoulder against the tree, sort of nice and stable position there, like that. And I'm just there. So let's put my gob cut in. Yep, not too bad there. So I put the gob in and then I tied it up a little bit after. Nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to go in and cut a massive amount. You can always go in and do 10% and make it to 20, but if you do 30, you can't make it back to 20, can you? So you just got to be a little bit careful with that. So that's not too bad there. Bottom of the gob there, nice and flat. It's open, but that sort of angle, which is what I want. And that there's probably about roughly 20% diameter of the tree, roughly. You know, we'd have to get your tape measure out. That's what you're looking for, yeah. So we've got that in, it's going the right way, going the right direction there, like that. Okay, if I just grab that felling bar, there you can put the felling bar in just to double check which way you want it to go. So I'll put that flat in there like that, and it's aiming exactly where I want it. If it's skew-if, like that, because you're off a little bit, you can slightly readjust the hinge, but not by too much because you make it too big. Yeah, slightly readjust it there. So that's pretty good. Now, we've got that in. What makes a door swing?
A hinge or something?
A hinge, isn't it? A hinge. And a hinge will make the tree come over like that, like a door closing like that. It'll make it come over, yeah? But it has to be a right dimension. Yeah, it has to be a right dimension. So, you know, depending on the size of the tree, you know, these sort of trees that we're doing here, if you think no bigger than an inch, 25 mil, yeah, which is roughly an inch, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so, you know, sort of that big. That's not an inch. No, lads, that's an inch. It was 26 mil, isn't it? But 25 mil, that's what you're looking for. So you can do it by eye, but you'll get that with more experience. But obviously I'll give you the timber pencils, crayons there. You can mark it, so you mark the bottom of the gob, like that, come up an inch, mark it, come back an inch, and put a vertical line in there like that. So then you can see it, and then you do the same the other side. Bottom, come up an inch, back an inch. Okay, so now I can see from here where I need to be. And what we're going to do is a standard felling cut. That's all we're going to do, yeah? So a standard felling cut is, we're just going to come in from the back of the tree, no further forward than the vertical line I've just put in there, which is an inch back, okay? Also, we don't want to be below, we don't want to be below the bottom of the gob, okay? We don't want to be up here either. We want to be roughly at that inch mark, yeah? That's what we're after, yeah? Either the bottom of the, either actually at the level of the gob or an inch above, roughly, that's what we're after, but you don't want to be below it, and we don't want to be 3 inches above it. That's why we put the little lines that mark, so you can just get your eye in, you know? Okay, so when you're here, like that position there, you can put it on there and go, yeah, I'm roughly there. It's roughly there, yeah? So what I'd like you to do is come around to here so you can see. So you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Come and have a look at it as well. Then you see what I've done. Yeah. So there you go, you've got your gob there, look. So you've got your vertical line there, an inch back from there, isn't it? Got a horizontal line there and horizontal line there. Yep. So I'm going to be aiming at the top horizontal line, coming forward no further than that vertical line. Okay, but you've got to be careful as well. Okay, so there's things to think about, isn't there? You know, you don't want to be, if I could find a nice straightish one. So put a little stick in there like that, a straight stick. When I'm coming through, I can see the stick and I can see my bar. And I want to make sure I'm in line with the stick, parallel with the stick. Because if you're skew-if, okay, you might think, oh, I've got 2 inches to go on this side, but on this side you've got like ½ an inch. You cut your hinge out. So to avoid cutting your hinge out, okay, you could cut through, go halfway. Go halfway, that's what I like to do. Okay, what I like to teach is go halfway and stop. Put your brake on, come around this side and have a look, go, oh, I've got 3 inches to go on this side, but I've got 1 inch to go on that side, so the vertical line. I bet you've got to skew if, haven't you? You want to stop and have a look and you've got 2 inches on both sides. Then you know you're still parallel. So that is you get out with gel free card. So if you are off, you can just readjust, come forward again. Because what you want to do is hit that vertical line and this vertical line at the same time. Because you want to control the tree to come under control. Like that, you see. Especially if it's a little bit windy, yeah? Okay, if you cut your hinge out, and if you do today, fine, because we're learning, you know what I mean? If you cut your hinge out, the tree could be unpredictable, especially if it's windy. So instead of it going that way, it could spin off and go that way, or it could spin off and go that way, or even go backwards. Yeah, depending on the terrain and the wind and stuff like that. And you don't want any of that, okay, if you can help it, okay? You got to, that's why we're just taking these first couple of trees nice and steady, you know, all right? So that's what we're aiming to do. So if I just go here, just so you can see me, but I'll be from that side. If I'm there, what I like to do as well, I'll put my bar in there. So he's in there flat against the back. Put it on the back. Put it in the front. Put it in the back. And then I know I'm sort of roughly parallel with it already, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you make a little mark on there and go, yeah, that's about right. That's sort of about the level I want, you know. If you're off, you can readjust it. There's no rush. There's literally no rush in this. I want you to just take your time and get it right. In that position there, like that. Fire it up and go through. Okay, so what I will do, I will cut from this side. I'm going to use the top of the bar. It's a pushing chain. It might fight me a little bit, but at least you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'll stop halfway, brake on, I'll have a look. When you do your brake on, don't do that and have a look, because you're against the tree can split out. Potentially, okay, so what you do, put your brake on and have a wide look like that, just in case the tree goes, yeah, okay, come back, creep forward, you can look, see I'm not in front of the tree, I'm to the side of the tree, I'll be able to see the end of my bar, this side of the bar, I'll see roughly, that's about right, you can see it. I'm not going to be stood here, because the tree could fall on your head, we don't want that, okay, you're to the side, yeah, and when you see it going, if it goes, yeah, just stand up, brake on, walk down your escape lane, out of the way, let it come over. If the tree stays there, don't be surprised, because it can stay there, because we're doing a standard felling cut. Standard felling cuts for a dead straight tree, or slightly forward leaning, okay, it can stay there. That's why we got the felling bar. Yeah. So if you get to both your vertical lines and the tree hasn't moved, don't be worried. Yeah. Just take the bar out, take the saw out, brake on. Don't turn it off. Just brake on, put it down, put your felling bar in straight away. Yeah. Then turn your saw off, chill out. Okay, because you're under control. Then you would do is then you just lift it up, push the tree over, because there might be no wind, or it's dead straight, you know. Okay, that's what your felling bar's there for. So before you start doing your back cut, make sure that is next to you, right there. So when you're there and you're done, you got your cut, you got your line, your brake, put it down, pick that up straight away, pop it straight in. Yeah, because if you don't, and the tree's there's a little bit of wind there, the tree could do what's known as sit back, yeah, and squash that back cut. You thought, oh, it's just more grief, yeah. And then we'll talk about how we get out of that a little bit later on today, yeah. How we deal with a sat back tree, yeah. So get your felling bar in, yeah, as soon as you can. Okay. If the tree's a bit bigger, if it's up to 380, when you know you stop halfway, put your felling bar in at the back then, because the tree's a bit big, you're not going to hit it with a. Then the tree can't sit back then, can it? Or you get your wedge out, pop your wedge in. Yeah, different ways. We'll talk through that later. Okay, happy with that? Yeah, nice and steady. Right, just keep an eye, make sure there's nobody wandering around. Okay, we'll take it nice and steady from here. I'll just do a little simple standard felling cut from the back. Okay, and hopefully we'll get it's slightly forward leaning, so I think it's gonna go. All right?
Yep.
Cool. Come round, not too bad. I've probably got half an inch to go to the line on that side, and I've probably got about a little bit more on this side. So I'll come round, make sure I'm lined up,
yep.
And off she goes, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so come and have a look. Come and have a look at the cut, yeah. So, see there, look, I've probably got 1 inch on that side, or slightly just under, and see it's got a little bit tapered there. I could have come around a little bit more, but you see it started to go, I just got out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, so I could have probably tied that a little bit better, okay, but because it went, I'm not going to stand there as the tree comes over, I'm going to get out of the way. So whenever the tree, you might get halfway, and do your brake to have a check, tree might start to go. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just get out of the way.
Job done.
just get out of the way, yeah. Because some trees will do that, you know. Okay, but what we're trying to do is get a nice uniform hinge all the way across. Got a little step up there, which is fine, okay. And we're just trying to make that a little bit more uniform, which we will do as we go along, yeah. All right. If the tree had stayed there, I could have tied it a little bit better, but it didn't. So I got out of the way. Safety first, all right. Most important thing. And look, it came down exactly where I wanted it. Yeah, and now I can go and process the tree. Yeah, the tree sometimes will stay on the stump, it's still attached to the hinge. Sometimes it breaks off. Yeah, fine. Okay. What you want to try and do is, well, if it stays on the stump, it keeps this end elevated a little bit, which makes it a little bit easier to process. If it comes off, doesn't it really? And then what now I can do, fire up the saw, go along and process the tree. We're going to just delimbing. We're just taking the branches off as we go on these particular trees, on these sort of silver birch trees. We're just delimbing, okay, and we're cross cutting them up into 2 chainsaw lengths, just firewood. Okay, that's the plan. You can, if the customer wants them in 2.2 meter lengths or 3 meter lengths or whatever, you can get a forestry tape. I've got one in the truck, I'll show you later. Just clips on the end, you can measure and you're being more precise with your cuts. Okay, you could get a measuring stick, measure that out 2 meters or whatever it might be, and do that way. You can pace it, you do chainsaw lengths, okay, but we do 2 chainsaw lengths because we need to lift and move it and stack it up for firewood for the local people, you know, so we'll just do that. So I'll give you a little demo of that now, Okay, and then I'll give you guys a tree. Rather practice.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Happy days.
Lovely job.